Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed Shlita. Well, here we are midweek. Thank you so much for joining us for our learning. We ask you to please continue davening for Chayalei Tzva Haganah Yisrael, for Shlom Chopetzuah Yisrael, the safety of our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael. We learn each day L'ilui Nishmat Seren Daniel Shimon ben Harav Doron Visheli Hashem Yakum Damo. So we are continuing with the laws of tzitzis. The next chapter is Minhagei Halvush VaMitzvah Tallit Gadol Tallit Kattan. Be'avar, in the past, Pa'amim Rabos HaBeged HaElyon Shebo HaAdam Miskaseh HaYabal Arba Kampos. The most outer beged, the most outer garment that someone would wear, cover oneself with, would be a four-cornered garment. Shekain Hamalachim Rekevesh Shel Arigas HaBeged Nesta Aide Chute Shesiv Arev. Because when sewing and putting together this type of garment, they would use what's called the warp and the woof, the cross pattern of weaving. And also, generally speaking, these were cornered garments. That's how they made clothing. So as perhaps the garment industry progressed, they realized that maybe corners was not the best way to go, so they made more form-fitting clothing, which then didn't have corners, but perhaps they were rounded or just more, again, like I said, more form-fitting. So it's rare to find an actual four-cornered garment in regular clothing that would require tzitzis. So therefore, Tallit Kattan So then we have to create on our own four-cornered garment. So there is the inner garment known as the tzitzis. We call them tzitzis, but it's really a Tallit Kattan, a small tallis. And then, of course, we have a Tallit Gadol, which we just call a tallis, a big tallis, which we wear at morning services. So Nefrat Yosir, let's go into this a little bit deeper into detail. So the time of the Tanakh and the time of the Mishnah, people would wear a certain outer garment. It had like a long body to it. And upon that, they would wear a four-cornered garment with tzitzis. So this chaluk, I don't know what you call it, this tunic or whatever it might be, was the base layer. And it was exempt from tzitzis, since it did not have four corners. So the four-cornered garment that had the tzitzis on it was the outer garment, and it was there for protection from the cold, from the sun, or just for honor. Sometimes they would even wrap it around one's head if needed. And even though sometimes they would go with just the tunic, so then, as it came time to daven, they wouldn't wear just the inner garment, the tunic, they would wear the tzitzis garment as well, the four-cornered garment. Mesupar B'Talmud, the Gemara Menachos Daf Mem Aleph Amud Aleph tells us, Al Rav Katina, that Rav Katina that he would regularly wear clothing that did not require tzitzis. Nigla Elav Malach V'Garbo, then an angel appeared to him and gave him rebuke. You're always wearing clothing that is exempt from tzitzis, so what's going to be with the mitzvah? Tomer Rav Katina was wondering. He was astounded. Do we punish people for mitzvahs that they're not obligated to follow? Ana lo hamalach, the angel answered, Bizman kosher shel peranios manishin gam es misha ner kemechapes drachim lihipater mitzvah. In a time when there is persecution and there's peranios for the Jewish people, we punish even those that look like they're looking for ways to get out of, to be exempt from mitzvahs. Biur Rishonim, so the Rishonim explained there, shebizmanu shel Rav Katina haymekublo lechas begadim shechayivim betzitzis. That it was accepted that in that period of time of Rav Katina, people would go with clothing that was obligated in tzitzis, and since he chose to wear a garment that didn't require tzitzis when everybody else was, so then this prosecution started against him. And then at the time of Perenios, then he could be punished for this. However, when there was a period of time when it was not accepted to wear a four-cornered garment wherever you are, then if someone would choose not to wear a four-cornered garment, there would be no punishment, no kitrog, no musar, etc. And this is all based on the Beis Yosef and Ur Chaim Chaf Daled Amar Aleph. However, l'kras tefillah shachris, when it comes for shachris, noagu kol Yisrael hisatef betalis mitziyetes. Everyone wears a talis with 4 corners and tzitzis. Amar Chachamim, and the Gemara tells us, it's really in the Zohar, Chelik Gimel, shehakori kriya shema b'la tzitzis. If somebody reads kriya shema without wearing tzitzis, nira made eidu sheker b'atzmo. It's as if you're giving false testimony about yourself or by yourself. Shukori al mitzvah tzitzis v'lo mekayim osa, because you're reading the parsha, the third parsha of the parsha of tzitzis, and you're not even wearing tzitzis. B'nosaf, in addition, noagu rabim livosh meshach hayom talis katan. Many have the custom that we wear a tzitzis, a talis katan, the whole day. Ad shekayom levishasahav chalis simin muvak shel keshel izos yudis le'emuna le'mitzvahs. Until today, wearing tzitzis and showing your tzitzis is a symbol of your Jewish identity and of your faith and your attentiveness to the mitzvah. So we see the evolution of this mitzvah over time, and we're going to see as we go further how to wear the talis katan, when to wear the talis gadol, bracha, etc., etc. But we're just here by way of introduction in our first 3 lessons, looking at sort of the history, the historicity, and the meaning behind these mitzvahs, which is so important before we get to the technical details of the how, what, where, and when. But the when is now, and thank you so much for listening. Please continue davening for Chayei Tzvagan Yisrael, for Shlem B'chol B'toy Yisrael, say to your brothers and sisters in Israel. And learning Nishmat and Daniel Shimon Rav Daron V'Shol Demo. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day, and we will see you here next time.